This narrow fringe of clamped experience we leave behind meted to us as life. Our little walks are insufficient reach.
Well, this is very interesting. He's just told us previously that this shapeless memory is still lingering in us. And if
Mhm.
our sight is turned within, this veil of earth that is so ignorant is lifted from our eyes, and there is this short miraculous escape. But now he tells us this narrow fringe of clamped experience. Of course, the fringe is a border, just like we have
Mhm.
the fringe on anything, anything that's woven or sewn. We have a fringe.
Mhm.
And clamped experience. In other words, it's restricted or repressed
Right.
experience. So, this narrow fringe of clamped experience we leave behind, meted to us as life. Meted is allotted to us, and it's usually
Okay.
something unpleasant.
Mhm. Okay.
And what are those things? Our little walks and our insufficient reach. We don't travel very far on our walks, and we cannot reach very far until,
Mhm.
and now he will tell us what happens.
Okay. Our souls can visit in great lonely hours still regions of imperishable light, all seeing eagle peaks of silent power and moon flame oceans of swift fathomless bliss and calm immensities of spirit space.
Well read, but very difficult to understand, huh?
Hmm.
Because he has seen this and he's describing it to us, but we have never seen these still regions of imperishable light. We've never seen these eagle peaks that are all seeing of this silent power, or the moon flame oceans of swift, fathomless bliss, and
Mhm.
calm immensities of spirit space. All this is yet for us to discover. And,
Yes.
and the Lord promises us all who have come to him that we will discover it. We will
Okay.
be in one birth or another supramental beings. We will become
Okay.
divine beings. So now he's going to tell us about the unfolding process of the self.
Okay. In the unfolding process of the self, sometimes the inexpressible mystery elects a human vessel of descent.
Well, that is a very powerful statement. In this unfolding process of the self, and the self here is capitalized F.
Mhm.
Sri Aurobindo says the self is being, not a being.
Okay.
And the
Mhm.
self is the conscious, essential existence, one in all.
Uh-huh.
That self is our truest and highest self.
Mhm.
And sometimes in that unfolding process of this self, now this is a capital S, which means that it means the soul, not the
Mhm.
psychic being, but the soul itself.
Okay.
Sometimes in that unfolding process of the self,
Mhm.
the inexpressible mystery elects a human vessel of descent. Now, that vessel may be a vibhuti.
Mhm.
Certainly, Abraham Lincoln was a vibhuti. George Washington was a vibhuti. Uh, Certainly, I can't, it'll come to me. Um, so many vibhutis have been here in the world helping the evolution along. Of course, the avatar also comes down as a human vessel of descent. The avatar is the divine and will always be the divine, but he is sent down into a human vessel. So
Okay.
Krishna, Ramakrishna,
Mm-hmm.
Sri Aurobindo, all are divine who have descended into the human form.
Okay.
And you can continue now with the reading.
Okay. A breath comes down from a supernal air. A presence is born. A guiding light awakes. A stillness falls upon the instruments, fixed, motionless, like a marble monument. Stone calm, the body is a pedestal supporting a figure of eternal peace.
Well, this is, of course, the experience of all who can rise into the higher realms of consciousness. There, a breath comes down from supernal, of course, means heavenly here.
Heavenly.
Now, in the next line, Sri Aurobindo capitalizes two words, presence and light. Very, very important. It is intended by the word presence, he tells us, to indicate the sense and perception of the divine as a being,
Okay.
as present in one's existence and consciousness or in relation with it.
Mhm.
So this presence is the divine presence, the divine, and a guiding light awakes. And we've spoken very often about light, so I won't go back to that. A stillness falls upon the instruments. I believe it was first, Sri Aurobindo's first experience was the stillness that
Hmm.
fell upon the instruments. That means the human body.
Body. Mhm.
Fixed. This stillness is fixed. The body is motionless, like a marble monument. Stone calm. The body is a pedestal. That's a support, like a
Mhm.
column or for a statue or a
Mhm.
foundation, you could say. And what is that supporting? A figure of eternal peace. And Sri Aurobindo tells us in his letters on yoga, peace is the very basis of all the
Mhm.
siddhi, of all the siddhi in the yoga.
Okay.
In another letter, he says to us, so interesting, peace is a calm deepened into something that is very positive, amounting almost to a tranquil, waveless ananda.
Mhm.
Oh, so we
Yeah.
see the body is stone calm, fixed now, like a marble
Mhm.
monument. It's a pedestal, it's supporting something. And then he says, or
Mhm.
or a revealing force. Read that
Okay.
again.
I'll go ahead. Yeah.
Okay.
Or a revealing force sweeps blazing in out of some vast superior continent. Knowledge breaks through trailing its radiant seas, and nature trembles with the power, the flame.
So the only line where you missed it is knowledge breaks through,
Oh,
trailing its radiant seas.
okay, knowledge breaks through, trailing its radiant seas. Okay.
So you now have sometimes, when that body is like a pedestal,
Hmm.
a revealing force, strength, energy, power sweeps blazing in. And I think this was something that Vivekananda experienced, that force
Hmm.
that he could go to the West, to America especially, and
Okay.
open so many hearts and souls with his speech. And
Hmm.
out of some vast, superior continent, knowledge breaks through, and knowledge is trailing its radiant seas, and even nature trembles with the power, the flame. And notice he capitalized nature. Nature is the
Hmm.
nature is the universe.
Okay.
Nature is God's power of various self-becoming. Essays on the Gita.
Hmm.
Nature is nothing but the will of God in action. Essays divine and human. So now we'll continue on because this is so important here.
Yep. A greater personality sometimes possesses us, which yet we know is ours, or we adore the master of our souls.
Yes, I would say a greater personality sometimes possesses us. You see, there has to be a little hesitation, but it should
Okay.
sometimes should combine with possesses.
Possesses. Okay. A
So
greater personality sometimes possesses us. Okay. Okay.
you got it. Very good. Okay. Uh, which yet we know is ours. This
Hmm.
personality, Sri Aurobindo tells us, is only a temporary mental, vital, physical formation, which the being, the real person, the psychic entity, puts forward on the surface. So he's not saying it is the total reality, but
Hmm.
it is the pure substance of nature of the being. So a
Okay.
greater personality sometimes possesses us, which yet we know is ours. And then he puts a colon there because he really wants us to feel this last line. Or we adore the master of our souls. Okay. What's going to happen when we do that? When we do that, he's going to tell us what happens.
Okay. Then the small bodily ego thins and falls, no more insisting on its separate self, losing the punctilio of its separate birth. It leaves us one with nature and with God.
Oh. So when that happens, that greater personality that possesses us, which we know is ours, or
Mhm.
we adore the master of our souls because we have felt the divine in us, then
Mhm.
the small bodily ego thins and falls, no more insisting on its separate self, losing the punctilio of its separate birth. The punctilio is the detail, particular, a fine point, particular,
Mhm.
or detail.
Okay.
So it's this detail of its separate birth. It loses that idea. So because it becomes one with the divine,
Right.
it leaves us one with nature and with God. What a passage we've been through today.
Yeah.
Oh. So
Yes.
we can move on a little bit more and
Sure.
see.
In moments when the inner lamps are lit and the life's cherished guests are left outside, our spirit sits alone and speaks to its gulps.
Very important. And this is one of the great passages of this book. In moments,
Absolutely.
the inner
Mhm.
lamps are lit. What are the inner lamps? The
The,
inner being, the inner
okay,
being.
okay.
And when the inner lamps are lit, and these life's cherished guests, what are they?
Hmm.
Oh, they can be family, they can be
Okay.
pleasure, they can
Uh-huh.
be mind, the actions of the mind or the vital, or the body itself, eating something. All of these things are cherished guests, families,
Okay.
education, environment, and they're left
Hmm.
outside. And therefore, our spirit sits alone and speaks to its gulfs. Oh, how beautiful. Now, we can go on a little bit to the next page, uh,
Sure.
just a little, because I want this to complete this marvelous, marvelous statement. Okay.
Okay. A wider consciousness opens then its doors, invading from spiritual silences a ray of the timeless glory, stoops a while to commune with our seized illumined clay, and leaves its huge white stamp upon our lives.
So the passage begins with those last three lines. In moments when the inner lamps are lit, and
Uh-huh.
its cherished guests are left outside, then a wider consciousness opens then its doors. And now
Hmm.
the word invading to give us this sense of these spiritual silences coming down like a ray of the timeless glory. And they actually stoop a while to commune, to communicate with our seized, illumined clay. Our bodies are matter,
Got
after
it.
all. They're like
Right.
clay. See, but it's the seized kind of clay, and it's even an illumined clay. And what does it do? It leaves its huge white stamps
Um,
in our lives.
um,
So, can you read from the beginning? And do you
yes,
have
Narad.
questions?
Yeah, it's a very beautiful passage. Yep.
Oh, yes, one of my favorites.
This narrow fringe of clamped experience we leave behind meted to us as life. Our little walks, our insufficient reach, our souls can visit in great lonely hours, still regions of imperishable light, all seeing eagle peaks of silent power and moon flame oceans of swift fathomless bliss, and calm immensities of spirit space. In the unfolding process of the self, sometimes the inexpressible mystery elects a human vessel of descent. Breath comes down from a supernal air, a presence is born, guiding light awakes, a stillness falls upon the instrument, fixed, motionless, like a marble monument, stone calm. The body is a pedestal supporting a figure of eternal peace. or a revealing force sweeps blazing in out of some vast superior continent, knowledge breaks through, trailing its radiant seas, and nature trembles with the power, the flame. A great personality sometimes possesses us, which yet we know is ours, or we adore the master of our souls. Then the small bodily ego thins and falls, no more insisting on its separate self, losing the punctilio of its separate birth. It leaves us one with nature and with God in moments when the inner lamps are lit and the life's cherished guests are left outside. Our spirits sits alone and speaks to its gulps. A wider consciousness opens then its doors, invading from spiritual silences. A ray of the timeless glory stoops a while to commune with our seized illumined clay and leaves its huge white stamp upon our lives. No, Narad sir, thank you because you are giving me the meaning, so it's coming out of me. Without the meaning, it's very hard. So
Yep.
you
I,
made sure it goes inside me very well.
and I appreciate your little bit slower reading. It's much better. Much better.
Okay,
Okay.
okay.
Namaste.
All right, Narad sir. Thank you so much. I'll send the videos today.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, take care.